All right, well, welcome back. Hope you're getting value from this so far. Hope you have a lot of notes. I have a lot of notes here. Hopefully you've been capturing this so far as we go through it. I'm going to be answering your questions here in a moment. I'll start going through the chat roll and answering some questions, but I want you to just breathe here for a moment and just to realize that your job is to be patient with every prospect you have, with urgency. You don't want to feel like you have all the time in the world, for their sake, not yours. Understand it's going to probably take multiple exposures for a person to understand what we have. Our goal is education and understanding. It's not to get them to join, it's not to get them to buy, it's not to get that spouse to come work with you or any of those things. It's just that they understand what it is that you have. And then from that education, they'll say yes or they'll say no. They'll be able to make a qualified decision. Questions, objections are your friend. They help you refine and clarify the picture in the prospect's mind. The only reason to have an exposure is to schedule the next one. If you ever miss an exposure, if you ever end one exposure without scheduling the next one, you've screwed up. Business is conversation. Keep the conversation going. And during the break, we were chatting with the team here, and a conversation could start with somebody making a comment on your social media, and you send them a direct message and said, hey, I saw you showed up, you liked one of the posts that I put up. How you doing? What's going on? Even if a previous conversation was a prospecting conversation or not, that could either start or restart the conversation. And your job is to be in conversation. One of the big assignments that I want you to do in order to be able to figure out follow-up is to get more people in the funnel. Go start a couple hundred conversations. Take your phone and start sending out text messages today and start 100 conversations. Go onto social media, start another 100 conversations. Have your messenger just be filled with conversations. Use whatever platform you want to be able to communicate with people and start communications on those conversations on those platforms. Your job is to continue to go from exposure to exposure. Now, an exposure could be anything that's not you, any of these things. Some people ask, well, what if you have a service instead of a physical product? What do we do in order to be able to expose the person to the product? Well, there might be a testimonial. There might be an article about your service. There might be a before and after with your service. There might be other satisfied customers of your service. There might be some industry write-ups and positive press about your service. Whatever that happens to be, you can utilize if a product sample is not necessarily the thing. Or if you have a product that doesn't sample where people are going to get results right away, they're not going to feel it, let's say. I take a ton of network marketing products. In a typical day, I probably take 10 or 12 different companies' products. But there's one product in particular that I don't feel the difference in this product, but I take it every day. You know why? Because of the clinical studies connected with that product. The clinical studies connected with that product have convinced me that even though I don't feel the difference, other people do, I don't. I'm going to do it because it's going to lead to a better quality of life based upon the research, based upon the data. So the reports, the brochures, the website, the articles, that's what's going to cause me to start with that product and stay with that product. As an example, see what I mean? You don't have to feel it for it to be good for you. There's other ways to express that. Our goal through all of this, reason why I talk about this conversation, keep the conversation going, I want you to think, you, inside of GoPro Academy, you who got this course individually, you who are investing in your future, this looks simple, I think it'll work, I think I could do it. That's what I want you to think, okay? Through these exposures, our job is to move people through the clock dial based upon what's going on in their life, wait for them to hit high noon, and be there. Be in relationships so somebody else doesn't harvest from a seed that you planted. You planted a seed here, you walked away, somebody else harvested when the person hit high noon. Don't be that person. Stay in connection. Don't fall in love with potential. Talk to more people. Get 100 conversations started today. Today. And then see how many of those conversations you can keep going. Start another 100 conversations on social. See how many of those conversations you can keep going. Your job is just keep it going. Just keep it going. Just keep talking. Even if you just trade that conversation once a week through Facebook Messenger or something, keep it going. Don't be desperate. Don't be needy. Your posture is important. Your belief in all these things, but mostly your belief in them, will translate. You need to be thinking about systems. This is not a training on systems. That's kind of what we do in Beyond Leadership. That's a leadership thing that we engage in, because this is pretty complicated. But just be thinking about what systems you're promoting within your organization to get people solid. What's your customer acquisition system? What's the series of exposures you use to get customers? What's your distributor acquisition system? What's your getting started system? What's your event promotion system? Here's how you know a system is viable inside of your organization. Everybody knows what it is, everybody does it, and it works. Next, start the conversation. Then the next, then the next, then the next, then the next. During this process, you're going to get some objections. You're going to get objections. Those are natural. Those are normal. They're going to stay there for forever. Here's how you deal with objections. When those show up, listen, relate, tell stories if I would you. Lead to the next exposure. Whatever that if I would you is a prescription to a symptom that they might have. You're like a doctor listening for symptoms, taking a look, tapping on somebody's body to be able to go, oh, I want you to take 2 of these and call me in the morning. If I give you 2 of these, would you take them? You know, and we could talk in the morning about whatever it happens to be. The 4 steps to getting past the objection are to schedule the next exposure, not to like be clever. Then you're going to be doing some trial closes at the end of each exposure. What'd you like best about this? What'd you like best about this? What'd you like best about the product? What'd you like best about the video? What'd you like best about, what I just presented to you? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? What would be worth your time? Part-time income? How many hours a week you're willing to commit? Realistic? How many months? If I could show you how to get that, would you be ready to get started? If not, then you get some limiting belief. When you get that limiting belief, you're going to schedule the next exposure following the 4 steps in the objections process. You're going to schedule the next exposure. At the end of that next exposure, what are you going to do? Go through this again. They ready? You ready yet? Nope. I got to pray about it. Okay. What can I do while you're praying? What else could help you get more comfort? Well, if I learn more about this or I learn more about that, all right. If I would you lead them to that thing? And in scheduling the next exposure, here's a simple 4-step process. And you'll see, I like a lot of these 4s, 6s, 3s, 4s, all that stuff, right? I'm big into that. That probably comes from my Jim Rohn training. If I gave you this video link, would you watch it? When do you think you could watch it for sure? If I called you after that, well, you'll have seen it for sure, right? What's the best number and time for me to call? Now, in this circumstance here, if you call them and they haven't watched it, or they haven't done it, or they haven't tried the product, they haven't done whatever they said they were going to do, what do? I used to scold them. Hey, you said you were going to do it. Stop wasting my time. I used to do that. That didn't work out really well. A lot of what I've learned through this whole process is plan, do, review. And part of the plan, do, review is life gets in the way, right? They say they're going to watch the video by Sunday night. So I tell them, if I called you on Monday morning, you'll see it for sure, right? What's the best number and time for me to call? 10 a.m., call your cell? All right, fantastic. I call them 10 a.m. on their cell. They don't answer. They send me a text back. Hey, sorry, I didn't have a chance to see it yet. What do? No problem. I can even text them back. That's no problem. I totally get it. Life gets busy sometimes. When do you think you could see it for sure? Just give me a time. You're busy, I'm busy. You're going to see it anyway. Just give me a time that you're absolutely 100% confident that you'll have seen it. All right, by next Monday. Give me a week. Fantastic. I'll call you next Monday. Have a good week. I schedule the next exposure, my job's done. I contact them next week. If they haven't seen it for sure, I'm like, hey, let's just get the suffering over with. It's a 20-minute video, right? I'm just following up like I said I was gonna. When do you think? Absolutely, write it in blood for sure. I'll be able to watch this link. Can you hang up and watch it now? It's not that long. You still have the link, right? Let me send it to you again. All right, what's it? When? For sure, absolutely, write it in blood. All right, that time. All right, fantastic. If I call you after that, you'll see it for sure, right? All right, ha, ha, ha. I'll talk to you then. Okay? So keep the conversation going. So like there's an example. There's a guy here in Las Vegas who, he's like a marketing guy. And I've followed his work for a long time. And we connected on Facebook Messenger, and I'm like, hey, I want to get together. And, I'll read it to you. Hold on. All right, so June 18th, I send him a text, or I send him a private message. Are you there? Didn't answer. June 18th, call me when you get a chance. I gave my phone number. Nothing. June 19th, hello, hello? Question mark. July 3rd, testing. Thursday, this Thursday, back in the country. When are we getting together? I'm here until the 7th. And then Friday, yesterday, I said, okay, I guess I'll leave the ball in your court. Have a great weekend. And then I got a response. Want to grab a drink? Okay, so I finally had to say, I'm done with you. Okay, fantastic. I'll leave the ball in your court. Clearly, you don't have an interest, right? And then he's like, oh, okay. So there's sometimes when you can just go, hey, look, this is my last text. This is my last email. I'm only doing what I said I was going to do with some people in order to be able to get them off the dime and to respond in a professional way. So my job is just get the conversation going. I think that there's some things that he and I can do together, and we'll see. There might be a fit, there might not. Okay? So don't get too overwhelmed with this stuff. What I want you to do is breathe and just go, my job is to keep the conversation going. I'm going to use some of these processes. It's going to be messy at the beginning. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not going to have every script exactly. I could do these in my sleep. I could just rattle them off in any situation in real time. I've done them so many times over the course of the years. It's like a reflex. It's like breathing. It's like drinking water. Going through this, if I would you kidding me? It's like taking a sip of water. It's not work. But it took some practice in order to be able to get there. And I had to be willing to be messy and let go of perfectionism while I was getting better. You have to do the same. Okay? All right, let me go to some questions. Angelique says, I had 3 kids in 4 years. There's a huge dip in my business. I completely lost his support. I'm assuming you're the father of your children. At this point, I wanted to prove to him I could pay off all my debt, but he's constantly bringing me the opportunity down. Any tips? Most of the time, Angelique, a spouse is not supportive because you're crawling. You're wasting everybody's time and you're not producing any results. If you produce results, most of the time you're going to get a good response. So instead of waiting for him to support you before you stop crawling, talk to him and say, look, let me, support me for the next 30 days. Let me work hard for the next 90 days, and then we'll evaluate this together. And if I'm working with my spouse who does not understand what it is that I do, my goal, without them feeling like a prospect, is to turn them into a prospect. My goal is to, over time, educate them as to what I have. I'll ask them, hey, will you come to the company event with me? I just don't want to go by myself. You can stay in the room or whatever. I just want to get them around the event so they see the big picture. Treat the exposures with your spouse the same way without trying to convince them to do what you're doing. All right? How do you support Joel? This looks like it's a theme. How do you support someone whose spouse is not on board with network marketing? Same answer. Same answer. It's exposure to exposure and stop crawling. What if your product isn't a product but a service that's tied to a contract? How do you use the product as a tool in that case? Stories, testimonials, reports, before and after, all kinds of anecdotal results when it comes to your service. Tricia, if I totally fail, fear of failure stops me, can I recover? The answer is, of course. You got to reframe failure, Tricia. Here's the thing. I used to be terrified of failure, and I stopped being terrified because I realized that I never lose. And Tricia, you never lose either. If you frame this right, I never lose. I win or I learn. How do you think I figured out this playbook? By making every mistake in the world. I win or I learn. You can't beat me. I either win or I get better. You can't beat me. There is no such thing as failure unless I totally walk away, put my tail between my legs, crawl under the covers and never come out. Then I fail. But if I'm willing to just continue to put myself out there and deal with situations, I'll be fine. And Tricia, you can do the same. Just take the action, get into conversation with people. You have the gift. Change your posture, change your story. You can change your life. Hello from Flowery Branch, Georgia. How would you suggest to stay motivated? Education, stuff like this. Education, and give yourself some little actions to build some momentum. If you feel exhausted, sometimes you just need to get one little win, one little thing that moves you towards your goal in a day. Instead of trying to do everything in one day, get one little thing done. That will help you. Lori CYL. How do I offer support to my downline, especially other builders under me, and not lose sight of continuing to build my business as well, ... I have not had a personal sign up in like 2 years. It's very discouraging. Lori, love your existing team, and it's time to kick them out of the nest. It's time for you to bring in the class of 2018. It's time for you to go start a couple hundred conversations and sponsor 10 or 20 of those people that you start in those conversations over the course of the next 90 days and build the class of 2018. The people you have on your team, they're doing whatever they were going to do. Now it's your turn to bring in a new team. You sit there trying to squeeze blood out of your existing team for forever. It's easier to give birth than to raise the dead. So go give some birth. Let the people lie where they're going to lie. All right? Do it. Fred from Florida. Hi, Fred. I give out samples and most of my prospects do not experience a change during the sample. How can I help them further remove the objection that the product doesn't work? Like I talked about, the product that I take, clinical studies, results, before and after. I take a ton of products that I don't feel anything, but I know it's got to be good for me based upon how many people are getting results or the studies and the reports and before and after of other people. What are your suggestions for getting people to attend events? Same process as this. Even with your distributors, go from exposure to exposure to exposure to exposure until they're at the events. Same process. Overcome the objection, get them to the event. You know, if I invited you to the next convention, would you attend? Right? When do you think you can get registered for sure? What's your hotel room? You know, what airline are you gonna fly on? Who are you gonna bring with you? Ask the questions and move them from exposure to exposure to make it happen. Sep and Jessica. Hi, Eric. Thank you. I have a question. When approaching every influential people and I reach out to them and they reply, Sep, and you approaching, are you approaching about a business opportunity? You just want to personally catch up? Because I get these opportunity invites all the time. Yes, we're just friends. I just want to know why you're contacting me, as it's been a long time. You can decide. If you start the conversation, you can decide when you want to turn that conversation into a business conversation. If you get into conversation with enough people, good things are going to happen. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to figure stuff out. So you can either start a conversation, say, listen, I thought about you. I got involved in business. I thought about you. I know it's been a long time, but let's get caught up. I want to share something with you. I want to find out what's going on in your life. Or you could just say, hey, it's been a long time. And be patient, and 30 days from now, 60 days from now, 90 days from now, when the timing is right and the conversation's moved along, you can turn that person into a prospect and say, hey, I was thinking about you. I don't know if you're open to a business or not, but I'm doing this thing and maybe we should get together. So don't trick people. Decide when in your kind of conversation life cycle you're going to drop the product or the opportunity, but there'll be a natural time for you to do that. Okay. Please review the 6 questions again. I missed one. I hope you got the 6 questions. Baby Doc. Sergio, how to handle this kind of approach over chat? Same exact thing over Facebook chat or WhatsApp. It works well in WhatsApp. If you can say in a person, you can say, if I send you a link on WhatsApp, would you click on it? Would you watch it? When could you watch it for sure? So if I sent you a message after that, you've seen it for sure, right? All right. What's the best time to be able to get reconnected? Should we just do it here on WhatsApp? All right, fantastic. Talk to you then. And then lead to the next one. You can keep that on chat. And you could do 3-way chats. You could do all kinds of chats to keep the follow-up going. It's actually helped uplines manage hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of follow-up conversations where they're helping their teams. They can manage those inside of Messenger or WhatsApp much easier than over the phone. So it works in all platforms. So Diana, I think I showed all of the lists again. I've been practicing If I Would You and have experienced non-committal responses. When do you think you'll be able to see it for sure? And their response shuts you down with a non-committal response. So Reg and Jen, I understand that. Say, look, here, I'll tell you how I deal with it. If I've got a video that explains this better than I could. It's 12 minutes long. If I gave you a link to this video, would you watch it? They're like, yeah, I'm not sure. I said, well, why wouldn't you? It's 12 minutes. It's going to help you understand what it is that I do. My goal is that you understand it. My goal is not that you join. My goal is that you understand. This 12 minutes will shortcut a whole bunch of time. So if I give this to you, will you watch it? They say yes, but it's not really a solid yes. Then I say, well, when do you think you could see it for sure? I just don't know. I'm really busy. I said, look, I'm not trying to push you to do something you don't want to do. I'm a professional, you're a professional. All I'm asking is, if I give you this link, when you think you could see it for sure. I'm not invested in your answer. Whatever that answer is, that's fine. But I want to be able to reach out and connect with you after you've seen it so I can get your feedback on what it is that you just saw. So whether it's 3 days from now, 3 weeks from now, 3 months from now, any one of those answers is okay. But just give me an answer so I'm not chasing you and you're not feeling like I'm hounding you, right? Let's just do this professionally. When do you think you can see it for sure? I think you're going to love it. January 1st. Can't see it till January 1st. I cannot do another thing this year, this calendar year. Fantastic. So if I call you January 2nd, you'll see it for sure, right? What's the best number and time for me to call? I'll talk to you January 2nd. If you see it before January 2nd, let me know. If not, I'll be talking to you January 2nd. Okay? So I don't give it to them. See, that's the thing. Some people do, is they say, here's a link, watch my thing. The person goes, yeah, whatever. Here's a brochure, take a look at it. Here's a video, play it. And I don't ever do that. I say, I have it over here. If I give it to you, if I share it with you, if I offer it to you, right? If I let you sample this product, whatever it happens to be, then would you take your step? I don't say, please, please, please. I'm like, no. I have it over here. If I would you. They say yes. If they say yes, if they say no, then fantastic. Look, you don't have to do it. All I want you to do is understand. I went to my friends tons of times. You know how I kept the conversation going when they would shut me down? To my friends and to my family, I would say, look, my only goal is that you understand what it is that I have. You cannot understand it over the phone, and you cannot understand it by hearing some gossip here or there. The only way you could truly understand it is if you experience this, either face-to-face or you watch a full presentation to be able to understand what it is. So my goal is to check you off my list that this person understands what I have and has said yes or no in a qualified way. So why don't you just get the suffering over with so I can stop bugging you? Just get it over with. Watch the video. Sit down with me for breakfast. You're gonna have coffee anyway. Let's have coffee. You're gonna lose 15 minutes of your life that you're gonna probably be spending anyway. It's not that big a deal, right? So I just roll with it, handle it. You do that, you're gonna get good results. Be authentic inside of this process. Okay. I just don't like network marketing in general. It's not for me. I totally get it. I was the same way. Let me tell you my story, what I realized. I didn't think it was for me either. What I realized, if I can show you how to get a better understanding of what this profession really can be, would you at least be willing to take them another look? Guide them to Rise of the Entrepreneur. Let them see that. Because most people have a poor understanding of it. You know why? Because too many amateurs are out there trying to misrepresent what it is that we have. Telling people it's too easy, too fast, too free, too simple. It's a challenging business. It's an entrepreneurial venture. You're growing something from scratch. It's called growing pains. It's not the easiest thing in the world. But we tell people it's the easiest thing in the world. All right. How would you follow up with cold market from a year plus ago? Same, just start the conversation again. Hey, what's up? We were talking a year ago. What have you been doing since? What's happening in your life? Let me tell you what's happening with me. This. You know, rank advancement, and people are having success, and we came out with new products and all this cool stuff. It's really cool. What's going on with you? Keep the conversation going. Restart it and keep it going. Restart it and keep it going. Is the only time to say next when you've been able to educate the person on what you're doing. I don't say next if they're still alive. Because here's the thing. Once they understand it, that's one thing. It's my responsibility to stay in touch because they might not be at high noon. They might be at 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. They might be a different part of the clock dial. So I'm just going to stay in touch, and if all of a sudden they're at high noon and all of a sudden they're open, it's like how many people joined network marketing during 2008, 2009 when the absolute market crashed everywhere? Nothing was working. Everybody lost their jobs, lost money, lost everything. All of a sudden people got really open-minded, right? So my job is to stay in touch. They say they're not a prospect. Fantastic. Can I keep you up to date from time to time, let you know what's going on with my business? Do you mind? You know, a couple times a year, I let you know what's happening. Any new announcements, any new whatever. I can drip them, send them an article, send them an award the company got, you know. Let them know about a new product that came out that might interest them. And I just stay in front of them, hoping for that clock dial to strike high noon. And when it starts chiming 12 bells, I'm like, okay, we're good to go. All right. What's a good way to keep track of all those people in the funnel? You've got this process either through, you can either do it on paper, you've got your text message, you've got WhatsApp, you've got your phone records, you've got social media, all of those things. You go look through all of the conversations that are inside of your social media. That's a way to be able to keep it going. It's not that hard. You just have to do it. I often manage to screw up and manage to not set up the next exposure. How do you restart the conversation? Just restart it. Restart it and schedule the next thing. Just start it going up again. If they don't answer the phone, send them a text. You saw what I said to my friend here that just ignored message after message after message after message. I'm just like, okay, send them 5 messages and finally get a response after I push a little bit. Give them a little passive aggressive. It's like, okay, I guess I'm gone in your life. Have a good life. So if they're not calling, if they're not answering the phone, send them a text. If they're not answering the text, send them an email. If they're not answering that, send them a private message. And just keep the conversation, keep it friendly. If you push too hard, pull back, but don't disengage, right? If you're not pushing hard enough, maybe you need to lean forward a little bit. So just keep it going. What's the principle? Business is conversation, keep the conversation going. The only reason to have one exposure is to schedule the next exposure. You'd call, why don't you message me? Hi, Laura says. I agree, right? Like, what is this person not responding to me? Are they crazy? What do you do if someone says he wants to join and you go to assist and they're acting surprised and they pull away? IZ from Ghana. The same thing. All that is they just needed another exposure. Go to the next, go to the next, go to the next, go to the next. Chuck says, thanks for the continued training. My pleasure. That's why we're here. How do you go back and follow up with people you dropped the ball with? Just start. Just start. Hey, be transparent. Hey, we were talking about this thing and we just totally fell out of contact. What's going on with your life? What's up with you? What's new? If the prospect says, send me the link of the video and I'll call you after I watch it if I'm interested. I said, that's fine. When do you think you'll see it for sure? I have this link. I'll give it to you. When do you think you'll see it for sure? So if I called you after that, you'll see it for sure, right? Because don't just tell me, look, give me the link and you're going to call me someday maybe. I just want to, I don't want to chase you. I don't want you to feel like you have to chase me. Let's just set it up. If I give you a link, will you watch it? You don't need to say, yeah, give me the link so you can get rid of me. I mean, I'm not like some stalker. I just want to help you understand what it is that I have, right? So if I give you a link, will you watch it? Simple as that. And if you're just doing it to patronize me, you don't need to. You don't need to. I don't need you to join the business. Posture again. Shoulders back, chest out, chin up. I've got the gift. You need to check this out. I have hundreds of videos that I've shared that were never opened because you shared them without asking the questions. Yeah, AJ. Ask, if I share this with you, will you watch it? You can go back to those same people that never watched it before. Somebody sends me a link, I'm not watching. But if they ask it the right way, people use my own stuff on me all the time. If I would you, all the time. What's the best way to share Rise of the Entrepreneur? Same thing. I have this great documentary. You like documentaries? It's about entrepreneurship. If I gave you this link to Rise of the Entrepreneur, would you watch it? When do you think you can see it for sure? Is Rise of the Entrepreneur available in Spanish? We have subtitles in Spanish. GoPro in Romanian, I don't know. Do we have GoPro in Romanian? Not yet. Are we down at the bottom? Yeah. Daniela? Okay, cool. Listen, we've covered this for a couple hours, but here's the thing that I want you to be thinking about. People have asked, how do you get this into your organization? By starting with you, building a process that people look at and they go, oh, this looks simple. I think it'll work and I think I could do it. You're going to start conversations. You're going to keep the conversations going. The only reason to schedule an exposure is to schedule the next exposure. Educate, ask some questions, schedule the next exposure. Answer some objections, schedule the next exposure. Right? If I would you, if I would you, if I would you. Use the tools, use the events, use those different exposures in order to be able to help a person become educated on the process. My goal for you is that you take this, you become the best trained group on earth, and you utilize it to be able to unlock your potential and to teach other people how to do the same thing. Now, speaking of potential, next month, those of you who are not part of GoPro Academy, you can click on the link here and get yourself connected to GoPro Academy. You're crazy if you don't. $297 for this course today, which is worth every penny. Or you can be part of GoPro Academy and get it at a pretty dramatic discount if you stay in touch with us, and you get training like this on different topics every single month of the year, live and interactive, in addition to all the courses that we have inside of the library. Now, Next month, is it September 8th? I think it's September 8th. It's September 1st or September 8th, but I think it's September 8th. My team will is it 8th? Yeah. Saturday, September 8th. It's going to be pre-recorded because Marina and I are going to be in the south of France on September 8th. But I'm going to be doing a special broadcast on how to build unshakable belief. How to build belief in your products, how to build belief in your comp plan, how to build belief in your company, how to build belief in network marketing, how to build belief in yourself, how to build belief in your team, how to build belief. And there is a process. It's not just something you're born with. There is a process for doing that. And I will tell you the real secret to long-term success in network marketing is belief. And the strongest people, they have bigger belief. They believe bigger, faster than others. I'm going to help you accelerate your belief building on Saturday, September 8th in a, not live, but in a comprehensive coaching session, okay? So tell your friends, have your friends get connected on GoPro Academy. We'll be letting people know about the power of belief and how to develop it inside of yourself and inside of your team. If you know somebody that needs to develop belief, they lack in belief, make sure that they're attending this event, either a la carte or part of GoPro Academy next month, September 8th. They're going to get tremendous value, okay? So that's our coaching session for today. Hope you got value. Hope you filled up a notebook filled with notes. Watch this over and over and over. This is in your archive. You have 90 days to be able to watch this as many times as you want. And I look forward to seeing you September 8th. Go forth and prosper. Make it happen. You've got it within you. The world needs you. Get out there, face your fear, and help the world. Take care, everybody. I love you. Bye-bye.